Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Raven, who is also Brooke, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Nicki Minaj and her appearance at the Turning Point USA event with Erika Kirk. Now, I want to apologize for my appearance. I literally have two different earrings on. This was a very impromptu video. I was rushing, so please forgive me. It's been a week, y'all. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and to follow me on all my social media platforms. And remember that this is my opinion.
That's my opinion!
Remember to keep it respectful in the comments, and let's just get right into the video. So for one, I want to say that I am sorry for my appearance. It has been a week and I had braids in and I didn't want to take my braids out until Christmas. So here's where we are. And also I want to say that I am about to be all over the place with this video because I was not planning to do this video. I had a whole script ready and I just decided that I'm going to release that video Wednesday or Thursday. Well, probably Wednesday. I don't want to release anything on Christmas, but this just was not planned. So if it feels like I'm all over the place, it's because I really didn't make a script for it. I kind of just made bullet points of like what I want to talk about. And I kind of tried to make it cohesive and flow. So again, I am sorry. But we are talking about Nicki Minaj speaking at a Turning Point USA event with Erika Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow. The same woman who has been doing these WrestleMania-esque events anytime they're supposed to be mourning. Now, I'm over here getting ready for the gym. I was kind of, pushing it back a little bit. So I'm just on my phone. I'm on Twitter. And when I say that my face said, I said, Nicki. Now, I'm gonna get to it later. This is not surprising considering what's been happening in the following, past few months. But I genuinely was like, Nicki. Nicki, this is not real whatsoever. And it's crazy because I was really going to do a video on celebrities who have been more conservative or just more outspoken, especially Black celebrities who have been more outspoken with their conservative views. And this took the internet by storm because Nicki Minaj, really? And I'm gonna get to that later as to why this is like, what the hell to a lot of people, but let's just get into it. So like I said earlier, I'm not surprised that this happened because if you look at certain things that have transpired with Nicki Minaj these past few weeks, not these past few months, but these past few weeks when it comes to politics, this seems like something that was in the making. So first it was starting because one, it seemed like Nicki was starting to become a quote unquote conspiracy theorist. And then what I feel like was the first strike with people is when she was reposting the White House, playing her songs across like their videos that they would do. Now there have been hella celebrities very outspoken against the White House who has been using their songs, especially their song where they're talking about ICE illegally detaining people. Sabrina Carpenter spoke out against it. Olivia Rodrigo spoke out against it. But Nicki decided that she was going to repost it. She was going to comment about it. She was endorsing it. And that was the first strike for people where people were like, okay. In people's minds, and even in my mind, I was like, she's indirectly at this point showing where her views are aligning. Something seems fishy, something doesn't seem right, but this is very bad. This is a horrible ass look to have. The fact that you were very happy that the White House was using your music, that already was taking people and me aback. And the crazy thing is, I was looking at that. You know what? I take back what I said as far as me. I didn't think that she was indirectly supporting Trump. To me, she was supporting Trump. You were supporting him by not saying anything about him using your music. That's absolutely insane. That's bonkers. And then what also happened is when she was starting to side with Trump about him wanting to basically invade Nigeria, because he has been saying that Nigeria is having a problem with Christianity. They have been trying to basically wipe out Christianity in Nigeria. So I'm going to let this journalist from Nigeria, I'm going to put his name here on the screen. I'm going to let him speak as to what people think really is the reason as to why Trump wants to basically invade Nigeria.
So I guess the easiest way to understand what is happening in Nigeria is to understand the context that on the surface, it's a poor country. In reality, in terms of resource endowment, it has absurd resource endowment to the extent that even many of us who live in Nigeria aren't even aware of. And it just so happened that sometime in 2013, 2014, when Boko Haram became a nationwide problem, when it became an issue of not a non-state actor actually holding land and actually facing off against the military. Um, it's the idea then was that these are Islamic terrorists. This is a religious thing. They're burning churches and things like that. And then over the intervening decade or so, it's been the case that they've slaughtered anything from 50 to 150,000 people. We don't have actual numbers because the records are very sketchy in these parts. And the significant majority of these people who have actually been Muslim because the part of the country where the violence is taking place, for the most part, the north and middle belt, tends to be Muslim dominated, more so in the north. So it's been, I guess, a, a very difficult story to contextualize because what do you call it when a group of terrorists calling themselves Islamists who claim they want to set up a caliphate are murdering Muslims in more numbers than anybody else, right? Very conservative Muslims as well. What is going on here? So what has tended to happen is that the deaths of Muslims has entered a weird memory hole because it's almost not covered at all. And then because these people also attack Christians, the deaths of those Christians are what is then covered.
Mm.
And that is what is then sort of codified into these narratives that are then sold to politicians like Donald Trump. And Donald Trump or the people around Donald Trump have simply accelerated this, I would imagine, because the geopolitical situation, especially regarding the trade war with China, has made them have to accelerate certain things. So, which goes back to what I was saying about Nigeria's resource endowment. Now, if you're trying to analyze the violence from a religious standpoint, it makes no sense because why the hell are they killing so many Muslims? The only thing you can use to contextualize this violence is by looking at a map, a geological map of Nigeria's solid minerals endowment, and mapping it with where these killings are taking place, and you realize what you're looking at. You're basically looking at people being um, cleared off their land, and the land essentially being turned into a huge open pit mine. That's a very crude way of putting it, but that's pretty much what is happening.
Mm.
And to sort of cover over the fact that you have, huge global commercial interests that are basically wiping out poor people for the sake of what is under their feet, you then have this chimera being sold that somehow it's about religion. Meanwhile, both Christians and Muslims and African traditional religious practitioners, everyone is dying in numbers, and they're all poor people and they're all powerless. So that's what is actually happening in Nigeria. So the recent threats by Donald Trump talking about, oh, he's going to come in guns ablazing and whatnot. That's what you would call in political terms, you'd call it kabuki theater, because that's what it is. Um, Clearly, the U.S. government has a predetermined interest in Nigeria. It has based on the stated what's it called the so-called Kissinger report, which was released, I believe, in 1974. It was stated very clearly in that report, which anyone can download off Google, that the long-term economic development of Nigeria to a place where it starts to use its own resources, its population grows to a certain extent, is considered to be a threat to U.S. national security interests.
And then what really, to me and to a lot of other people who aren't the barbs, who I will get into later, what really just really confirmed I feel like in people's minds as to what Nicki's views were is when she just outright started basically boasting up Trump and J.D. Vance on Twitter. When people saw that, they were like, oh hell. Like people were like, girl, you have lost your mind. You are supporting J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, considering what is happening right now in America. This is who you love and who you live for. And then what just kept driving it home is when Nicki and Gavin Newsom were Nicki directly was coming for Gavin Newsom, the California governor. And Gavin Newsom was coming at Nicki, but he did it in a way where you knew he was coming at Nicki, but he never said this is toward Nicki. But basically, she made a tweet saying, imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav, the Gav nods, Gav out, send to the next guy, whatever. And people were like, wait a minute. He's just saying he wants to, advocate for trans rights for kids. Like, no one's saying that he doesn't also want to see kids who aren't transgender be healthy as well. So people were like, girl, are you giving a little transphobia? Basically, that's what people were just outright asking her. That was like the driving force for people. And then Gavin Newsom made a tweet referencing Megan's Law. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion Hiss. And then you had J.D. Vance come out talking about he loves Nicki better than Cardi. And it's just like, first of all, let's back up. Let's take 10 steps back. Why are you, as the sitting vice president of the United States, referencing a rap beef? That's actually insane, and it shows that we are literally in hell. So then that brings us to today, and Nicki is at Turning Point. Now, when she goes out to Turning Point, she's saluting to the crowd, and the statements that she was making were, to me, very ignorant, very much taken aback. Like, there's just no way that you truly believe what you are saying right now, especially referencing Donald Trump, considering the comments that he made about Rob Reiner's death. There's just no way. And let's just watch and discuss some of the things that she said at this event. So one thing that she said that really had me like, you have got to be me right now, is when she was talking about Gavin Newsom and how straight men really don't need to look after him and how they need to look at our dashing president as a role model.
And what do you think about for young men? For young men.
And for young men, don't be new scum. Yes, see, dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
First of all, like, excuse me, that frumpy ass looking man? I think not. Like, Donald Trump is the same man who was talking about grabbing women by their... He just made fun of someone's death. Hell, even with Charlie Kirk's death, when the news tried to ask him like the day after, he was like, yeah, that's sad. But by the way, I'm building this gold room. A man who has no empathy for anyone but himself, the man who is continuously breaking the law over and over again. This, first of all, also the man who is dumb as rocks. This is who men should look at as their role model? Really, Nicki? And then she said that Trump gives people hope and that the administration and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are full of heart and have a soul. And I said, Nicki,
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys. But this administration is full of people with heart and soul. And they make me proud of them.
This is the same administration who literally just a month ago was not trying to give people their food stamps because we were in a government shutdown. The same man who is boasting about illegally detaining people in a violent manner, posting AI videos of ICE violently detaining people. This is the administration that has a heart and a soul. The same administration who just a few days ago, yes, they released the Epstein files, but they redacted 119 pages, the whole damn file. They took out photos that contained Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump who was exposed in emails and birthday cards of having very concerning language when referring to women and when referring to Jeffrey Epstein. This is the people who have heart and soul. J.D. Vance, who has an Indian wife and mixed race kids, who has basically told his wife to switch to another religion, who is telling Americans that this is a country where we only need to be speaking English. What? Now, I will say though, it was like when Nicki was like describing JD Vance and then she said the word in front of Erika Kirk and it was like girl
Have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
And then Nicki was asked, why is she just now getting into politics? Like, what is your reason? What is your motive? And this is what she had to say.
So why now have you been involved with speaking about politics? What was kind of the turning point for you? Yeah.
What was the turning point? Well, I just got tired of being pushed around. Sometimes you just get tired of it and then you realize, wait a minute, I have something inside of me that's stronger than what's out there. That's right. So when you've had enough, you realize, wait a minute, why do I even care about these people and what they think? Who are they? They don't even know who they are.
And when she said that, I was like, okay, so are you saying that this is someone that you've always been and now you kind of feel like, well, I kind of don't, give a FUCK anymore, so I'm just going to do me and I'm just going to now be myself? But that was just a very interesting comment that she made. And then she made this comment. I'm just going to play the clip. Let's let the clip play.
Something that I've noticed recently is that for little girls, I think that no matter how you look, we should be trying to instill into them to be proud of how they look. Recently, in the media, it's almost been like a push to... It's not just making young black children feel proud of themselves, but it's almost like doing that and at the same time telling other children not to be proud of themselves. And I don't want any child feeling that way. If as black women, we felt that we were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty, if we felt like that as black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Amen. Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel, no, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand? It doesn't bother me that a woman feels and says that she's beautiful. Amen. Why shouldn't she feel that? Why have we gotten to a point where certain colors or certain kinds of people have to be afraid of loving themselves and loving the way they look?
And this is my interpretation of what she said. I looked at it as her saying, why do black women feel like they had to put down white women to feel good about themselves and to feel beautiful? If you think different, comment. If you think different, please tell me what you think she meant by saying that. But just after hearing that, again, this is my interpretation. It's my opinion. And I was like, when has there ever been a time in the history of America where black women were putting down white women to make them feel ugly? We don't even have the power to do that. Society tells us that we're ugly. Society tells us that our hair, our lips, our nose, everything about a black woman is ugly, even our bodies. Even though these white women want to have the lips like us and the body like us. We are literally told that we are ugly, just poking at us, making us feel like we are the ugly ones. We're the bottom of the barrel in America. That's all we're asking for. No one's saying to start calling white women ugly and that white women can't be white women. What are you talking about? And it almost felt like she was not shielding white women. That's not the right word. But almost as if she was just pointing at black women as the aggressor as to why some white women may feel away and that everyone just should feel like they can just boast themselves up and be beautiful. And I'm like, I don't like that statement she made. And it's so ironic that she said that because at this same event, J.D. Vance made very racist, stereotypical remarks about a black woman who was in Congress, Jasmine Crockett, who is from Texas, talking about, oh, she wants to have this street persona and the only thing that's as real as her is her nails. And it's just like...
And Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
Nicki, this is the person that you just said had heart and soul. This is who you love. This is who you endorse. Really? And then this last thing that I'm going to be pointing out that she talked about, that's kind of going to be a segue into the next point I have for this video, is when she made the comments about boys just being boys, and if you're a boy, it's okay to be a boy. And I'm just going to let the clip play of what she said.
Be boys.
Amen.
Be boys. It's okay. Be boys. It's nothing wrong with being a boy.
Amen.
How about that?
Amen.
How powerful is that? How profound is that?
Amen.
Boys will be boys, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Now, I have seen some barbs try to take what she just said and say that she's not saying that she hates gay men. She's saying that if you're even going to be gay, just be a boy. Don't, be a feminine boy. You can be gay, just don't transition. And I was like, no, babes, I don't think that's what she meant. And again, this is my interpretation of what I think she was implying. I think she was implying when she was saying it's okay to just be a boy. She was talking about a straight, heterosexual as straight can be man. She's not saying, oh, you can even be gay, but just don't be as feminine or just don't transition into a woman. No. I genuinely feel like when she made that statement, she was saying be a straight as heterosexual as man. I don't think, babes, that what you thinking she meant is what she meant. All right, now something that I have been seeing a lot on Twitter and Instagram and just people's opinions about this is I see a lot of people saying that this is who Nicki has always been throughout her career. And, for the past few months, she's been showing us this is who she is. Now, I will say, I do agree with people saying that over the past few months, well, I would even say over the past maybe like 5 years, just based on what I've been seeing happen with her online and the controversies that she has been in. This is not as, shocking as I think a lot of people view this. And I will say that I did, try to do some quick research about things that Nicki has said. In Nicki's early career, what is interesting is that she was very much pro LGBTQ+. She talked about it very outright.
Would encourage my gay fans to be fighters and to be brave. So I want my life to be a testimony to my gay fans. I mean, I could never imagine what they're going through, but I know that's never the answer, and I know that things always get better. You guys, I love you very, very much. And for the people who don't love you, they need help. When you ridicule people, it's a sign of your own insecurity.
But even BET had like an article saying that Nicki was one of the few rappers who spoke out against the LGBTQ plus community. And I feel like something that people are also missing from this as to why this is such a point where people are taken aback, even if you aren't as active on, Twitter or the internet when it comes to Nicki Minaj and the controversy she has been a part of. One of the things that Nicki is known for is that she is literally an LGBTQ plus icon. Like, I'm not even exaggerating that. I wouldn't be surprised if she's not like the LGBTQ plus icon, was, because it's like, in this, I'm sorry again if it feels like I'm going all over the place, because one thing I have been seeing is, some barbs still defending Nicki, even some barbs who are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I think what's so interesting is that, because I have done a whole video about stan culture, and I could even do a whole video about the toxicity of the barbs, and the barbs aren't even the only fan base who is crazy engulfed in stan culture, but they are the fan base that take it too damn far. But I will say that the irony is that I feel like a lot of these barbs go so hard for Nicki and ride so hard for her is because she was like this representation that it almost felt like they had when it came to LGBTQ plus representation. And anyone in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong, but again, this is just how I'm looking at it and just what I think. This is just a theory, isn't right. Again, comment what you think. But the irony is that, they love Nicki so much because she did feel like a voice in the LGBTQ plus community for them. So it's so ironic now, like she's siding with an administration that's probably planning right now to get rid of gay marriage as we know it and make it more of a state issue. Just the irony with that is so interesting. It's very interesting because again, they love Nicki Minaj for the comfort that she gave them for being in the LGBTQ plus community. And now that she is starting with an administration that wants to take away their rights and they're still standing by her, it's just interesting. I don't have a concrete opinion about that. I find stan culture fascinating. Like one day when we really do a case study on the bars, because there will be a case study one day, it's going to be an interesting one. Very interesting. But then, and this is something that I also agree with as well, Nicki does have a PDF brother and she does have a PDF husband. Nicki has been very outspoken in the sense that, her brother may or may not have allegedly been framed, lied about on the stand. And then even with her husband, she says that her husband didn't do it. And it's a matter that happened when he was, young. What's the big deal? And I absolutely see people's points with that. And I absolutely agree with people's points in that maybe this also has been her because of the stances that she has taken with her brother and with her husband. So, if birds of a feather flock together then. And also, I was like, Nicki is going out so bad right now because when the official page for Democrats did a quote tweet of one of the talking points Nicki was talking about at the Turning Points event, and they had a symbol of the Republican symbol on there, and then it said PDS protect. I said, Nicki, you look ignorant. You are going out so sad right now. Like, your legacy as one of the best rappers, woman or man, period. Because, okay, Nicki the artist, Nicki Minaj is Nicki the Minaj. Her artistry Can't nobody come for that, touch that. Like, she is Nicki Minaj. Again, whether it's a woman or a man, she is one of the best rappers to have ever graced the earth. But I ain't talking about Nicki Minaj, the person right now. This is what's happening to you right. This, like, Jesus. Also, I want to make it clear that Nicki Minaj is not the only celebrity, most importantly, black celebrity who has endorsed Trump, supported Trump, anything Trump has done. I have come after Snoop Dogg. I don't like Nelly. I hate that they performed at that damn inauguration and tried to play in our face talking about, oh, we need to still respect the presidency. And then even Rick Ross, Rod Wave, Lil Wayne, like, she is not the only black celebrity who has endorsed Trump in some, way. She's not. She is not the only celebrity who has indirectly or directly supported Trump. However, going back to, again, Nicki, one of the things that she is known for, again, is being an LGBTQ plus icon. And this is who you are standing by. This is who you are saying has heart and soul. That is actually, no, babes. No, like, you look ignorant. You look foolish. And I can already hear someone saying, what does it matter about someone's political viewpoint? We should all respect each other's political viewpoints. First of all, I'm not about to respect anyone who is literally endorsing someone who is trying to slowly but surely strip away the rights of black and brown people, people in the LGBTQ plus community, disabled people. I don't have to respect someone like that. And here's my thing, right? You could have loved John McCain. You could have loved Mitt Romney. You could have loved Bush Sr. or Jr. Hell, you could have loved fucking ass Ronald Reagan. You could have loved Nixon. I don't care which Republican you love, but you chose to sit here and side with, again, someone who, as we know it, is trying to strip away our rights slowly but surely, who is most likely in those files as a PDF. You are supporting an administration who are covering up people who are PDFs right now. No. No. Hell, I have even people around me who have moderate Republican views. I have no problem, but I'll be damned on this earth if I sit here and be cool with someone who is a Trump supporter, who supports a politician who is a Trump supporter, who supports a celebrity who is a Trump supporter. I'll be damned and I don't have to respect it. And I'm sorry for going on that tangent a little bit, but it's like, I feel like we need to not be dense and to really use our brains to have an honest conversation, regardless if you have this very concerning parasocial relationship with Nicki Minaj, but we need to be honest. And it's so funny because I saw a tweet and I was like, this person is so right. They said that the Republican Party used to be looked at as a classy party. That is who the Republican Party was, this classy, rich party. Now they are looked at as a bunch of ignorant, crazy, bigoted people. And there used to even be a difference between a Republican and a conservative. Now that shit is intertwined with each other. Like, it's together now. And again, I feel like people aren't understanding that concept. Like I said, you could have loved Bush Sr. or Jr., Reagan, McCain, Mitt Romney. Like, there are so many Republicans out here who are like, you can even be a Republican and be a moderate one. Again, there is like a difference between Republican and a conservative, but now it's together. Hell, you're not even conservative anymore. There needs to be a different word for conservatives, like something that's even more extreme than a conservative. Like, it has gone to a whole nother level, and I feel like people are being dense to that fact. So again, to the people saying who cares about your political views, if it was any other Republican or Republican who doesn't support Trump, who's a moderate Republican that she supports, I wouldn't give a fuck. I wouldn't give a damn. I literally would not be having the opinions that I have. But again, you are supporting someone who is terrorizing America right now, who pushed this big, beautiful bill where in about 2 to 4 more years, so many Americans are about to be royally screwed right now. Like, they are going to be screwed when it comes to their healthcare and their food stamps. The same man whose administration was trying their hardest to not even give people food stamps in this latest government shutdown, which, by the way, with the Trump administration, this is the longest government shutdown in history. And when it comes to the Barbs, like, this situation just makes me even more intrigued by you guys. And I am so fascinated by you guys, especially Nicki's fans, because her fans are mostly a part of the LGBTQ plus community. If you are one of those people who are going to continue sticking beside her, I ask you why. What do you gain by sticking by a woman who supports people who want to take away your rights? And then also someone else made a good point. I saw someone say that there there are people in the trans community, in the gay community who are conservative. So I just wonder, is it because you have the same ideologies that Nicki has? Or is it because you just love Nicki as a person and maybe you just can't fathom that she maybe really agrees with these things and you think maybe it's a part of a master plan, which I think is just, I'm not gonna lie, it's BS. I don't think this is part of this grand, intelligent master plan. So if the bar wants to comment why they are sticking by, I would actually love to know. So it's just a very interesting thing, and this all goes again into stan culture and just how toxic and insane it is to worship a celebrity so much to where you would put your morals aside, where you would love a celebrity who loves another sitting acting president who is literally like a tyrant right now. Hey, please explain. Just, I would love to know. Now, do I think that Nicki agrees with some of the things that the Trump administration is doing? I do, but I also think that this is a grift. I think that some of this is a grift, and I think that some of this is an attention play. I'm not going to lie. I really do think it is. If you also look into the news, what's been happening around Nicki Minaj, it has been alleged that she has been having money troubles. And I feel like anyone on this earth knows that one of the best grifts you can do is toward the conservative movement in America. You can make a lot of money depending on these people's stupidity. You can make a lot of money. And it's so unfortunate because if it is true that this is more of a grift than what she actually believes, then again, you are sitting here, fake or not, you're still giving more voice to an administration that is so heartless, so soulless. They don't give a damn about anyone but themselves. They don't give a damn about anyone but the rich. Hell, they don't give a damn about anyone but man. So, you know, she was to come out and say, oh, I was just doing it for money and attention, babes. The damage is already done. It's done. It's over. It's a wrap. I truly believe she's never going to come back from this. There's just no way. And like I said again, if it was any other Republican on this earth, it was even Reagan, no one would care. But this man is literally suspected to be a PDF. There's already damning evidence that is publicly made about him potentially being a PDF. You are in support, quote unquote, of a vice president who told his own wife that she should switch her own religion to being Christian. His opinions literally go against his own family. This is who you love? This is who you support? The same administration who is over here trying to erase Black history as we know it? This is the same administration that you allegedly want to make money off of? That you would allegedly want to get attention from? Like, babes, this is not it. You look ignorant. You look so ignorant right now. And yes, your legacy is as far as the Black community, it's damn near dust. And the crazy thing is, two things could happen with this situation. Either more celebrities are going to speak out against her and condemn the Trump administration, and start being more vocal about condemning the Trump administration, or this is going to now make celebrities who do side with the Trump administration and have their same values, this is going to make them feel like they can be more vocal. So we shall see what shall happen. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'd love to hear you guys' opinions in the comments. Remember to keep it respectful, and remember to always keep life cute, fab, and fun, and I will see you guys in the next video.